Alrighty, hello and welcome to this build guide. This one is for the new Static Orb that was just redone this patch. I've been meaning to put this one out for a while now, and just haven't got to it, so I'm getting into it now. So yeah, this build is a lot of fun, as are every build I put out, because I don't like putting out not fun builds. So if I don't find it fun, I don't put it out. This one definitely falls in the fun department, and so here it is. Let's go ahead and start with just giving you an idea what it looks like, because it's pretty cool looking. Let's go just take this one out. We are in Empowered. I do all of mine in Empowered. I don't do them with like max corruption or anything like that, because it takes a long time to stack corruption. So they can all do more corruption than what I show. But this should give you an idea what you can do. It's very good AoE, very good single target, decent mobility, nothing crazy, but also quite tanky actually. For a Stork, this is a pretty tanky build. It doesn't require too much mana management, although it does require some. Especially early on, but once you start putting mana regen in your gear, it's much easier. I do have focus, as you can see on my bar, but I don't use it very often because I just don't need to. As long as I'm not using Static Orb too often, my regen covers it. The only time I really need it is when I'm going to burst, or if I'm gone for a long time, it just kind of slowly whittles down. So the vast majority of the time, I'm just using Static Orb to do my damage, and then single targeting with Lightning Blast. I'm getting really bad performance in this particular Echo for some reason. Let's just single target him out, and we're done. That's the Echo. Pretty easy stuff. You notice I got a lot of crit. I crit pretty much 100%, just about. I think there's like a slightly lower than 100%, but it's very close to that. Maybe my bio settings reverted again. Yeah, I've had a good performance until that particular Echo. Everything else has been fine. I don't know what's going on. Could be the recording. Who knows? Okay, let's go through the pros and cons of the build. AoE's great. Single target's very good. Mobility's decent. Almost a con of mobility, but it's not. Like, mobility is pretty good for this build. I think it's actually more of a product of I played some really fast builds lately. This build's going to be above average on mobility though, with your teleport, and plus you get haste whenever you use Flame Ward, so it's got good speed. It's actually pretty tanky the way that I've made it. So we build up a lot of ward as we're attacking. As you can see, I actually don't lose my health either because I'm leeching it, but there's nothing to leech on when I did that, so you can't see it. Far as cons go, the way I've made it is a bit gear intensive, and it's very unique intensive, although actually none of these uniques are really hard to get. Like this one is a guaranteed drop of a quest. This one is a farm a monolith, or not a monolith, farm a timeline. These two are relatively common drops that are early game drops. There's nothing crazy there, but it does require some investment to get it up and running the way it is. None of this stuff actually is necessary to do the build though on the offensive side. This is pure defense. These go with that because you need the leech. We'll talk about that later. And then this is just for the shock. It's crazy. It's just so good. So none of these are required for the build to run. You can definitely run without. But if you want to run the way it's looking now with the defense, the way it's working, it's fairly intensive on that side. I don't know that I have any other particular cons. Everything else is pretty good on this build. It's a strong player for sure. If you want to push corruption, if you want to just run echoes pretty quickly and have a build that's pretty good pretty much throughout the entire game, like as soon as you get Static Orb, it's pretty quick. Okay, as far as difficulty of play, the rotation is real easy. Static Orb, AoE, Lightning Blast, single target. Use Flame Ward either to move fast or to get more tankiness. Of course, teleport to move, also to put out your little minion guys who will take some threat off of you. And focus to get your mana back. And that's the rotation. So that's pretty easy. That's beginner friendly stuff. The only thing I would say is not beginner friendly is like to get to where I'm at with the heart of the twisted heart of Uhkeiros. It's gonna take you a while to get to that, and then making sure you have the uniques that you need. And I'm also I'm actually running +3 on Static Orb, which you don't need. That's not required. But again, if you want to look like mine is, that's what it's gonna take. You definitely can get away with a +2, which you can farm fairly easily. Yeah, so I would say this is pretty beginner friendly actually. This is maybe slightly less beginner friendly than The first build I put out this patch, but pretty close. As far as future patch considerations, Static Orb is new, but it didn't seem to get nerfed much at all. I don't think it's like in a super OP state, although it's in a very good state. I don't think there's anything too much to worry about. Lightning Blast got nerfed again, and now it's probably in a state to where it's like, it's still really good single target, but maybe not like OP single target. So this is probably going to be okay going forward for the next few patches. There's always some chance that more nerfs happen to Lightning Blast, but I think you're probably in a decent state here. So you can probably keep, and plus we're still a long ways out from the next patch. All the hot fixes have happened now, as far as I know. So this is going to be good for probably at least a few months. Okay, let's go ahead and get into the build, how it actually works. We'll start with the skills right after I drink this coffee. Okay, let's start with the heart of it, which are the 2 damaging skills. First is Static Orb. So here's how I build it out. I start with 1 Enforking Surge. The tendrils are nice, like they actually do work themselves, so this isn't like a wasted point. 3 to Open Circuit for projectile speed and damage, which will open up Scatter Blast, which gives you these 4 smaller orbs that shoot out. Like you'll see these little ones. Those ones actually can shotgun, and they also just they chain through things, or they pierce through things. So I really like those a lot. They just synergize super well. So that's how the build's kind of around. I take 2 of 4 in Static Armor for the Lightning Aegis, which Lightning Aegis is great. It's like, it's DR, it's increased damage. It's just a great thing to have. And then I've also got 4 of 4 in Critical Trajectory, because we're critting pretty much 100% of the time. So this is a really good node for that. We've got 2 in Shocking Conduit, which opens up Storm Conductor for the 48% spell damage to shocked enemies. And of course, we're shocking enemies immediately because we're doing so much shock. Let's see, what's my shock at? It's higher than this shows, because there's like shock with lightning. Like that right there alone is double. So I got more shock than actually shows. I do have 1 in Insidious Focus, just to get the mana cost a little bit lower, to make it a little easier to run it. You can take out of this if you want to go a little bit higher mana and put it into one of the damage things, like Storm Conductor. And then we got 3 of 3 in Volatile Outburst, which ramps up damage the farther out you attack. So if you attack farther away, you'll get more damage. So definitely preferable to do that, but the damage is good even if you don't. But it's a really good node as well. Okay, that's your AoE, and also your Lightning Aegis applicator. So you do want to run this every 4 seconds if you can. All right, next up is Lightning Blast. This is your single target, and it is single target because you're going to run Convergence, which causes all the chains of Lightning Blast to go to the first target. So we're taking 3 in Storm Razor for all the crit base, then 2 in Chain Lightning to open up Convergence, which also does the damage, or some of the damage for Convergence, and then take Convergence. We are taking ultimately 4 in Arcing Power, start with 2, and then work your way back here later. 2 in Crackling Speed to open up a 3 and 3 in Shatter Shock. Shatter Shock, by the way, those multipliers multiply on themselves. So if they're shocked, that's 36% more, and if they're chilled, that's also 36% more. So this is like a pretty much mandatory node. Even though it got nerfed this patch, it's still mandatory in Lightning Blast. 4 of 4 in Overcharge, and 1 in Hypercharge for the double and quadruple crit chance plus crit multi, which, as we talked about, is really good. I've also got 1 in Front Loaded to get a little bit more damage out of that. This goes down per chain, but it doesn't go down because you've changed. Does that make sense? Like the first hit will be 20% more, then I think it's 15%, then 10, then 5, then 0. So the chains do actually get more damage, and the first hit gets the maximum amount, and then it just decreases from there. That's Lightning Blast. Let's go into Flame Ward. I build Flame Ward both for damage, for speed, and for damage reduction, which is actually 3 things, not a both. But yeah, for 3 things. Start off with Stalwart Defense, Desperate Defense, 1 in Desperate Defense, 2 in Stalwart Defense, 1 in Astonish. Astonish gives you that when stunned. This is going to save your life a lot. Fuel the Flames, and then 1 in Dual Aegis to get the additional charge. Only 2 in Fuel the Flames. From there, you can go either for damage and speed, or for more defense. If you went defense, you get Barrier first, less hit damage, 40%. That's big. It's a lot of damage reduction on that. Then I go 2 in Dilation, 4 in Through Flames, and 1 in Flame Runner to get haste every time I use this. Move faster. That's really nice. Nag TV, thanks for the raid, much appreciated, man. Welcome. We're just doing a build guide here. Be done in a little bit. Feel free to sit back, relax, and enjoy. 1 in Infusion, and then 1 in Lightning Ward to actually change over Infusion and Through Flames to lightning damage from fire damage. So that'll be important for your damage. Next up on the list, we've got Focus. This is your mana regen. This will be much more important to you earlier, and then as you start building mana regen in your gear, it'll be less important, but still valuable. So you're gonna first focus on the mana part. So you got Mana Flooded over here. You've got Desperate Meditation over here. You've got Revelation over here. Take all the points in all of those. You can also get more haste after channeling from Energy Infusion. I recommend that too, so you can go faster once you're done channeling. And then since we're a ward build, especially later on, early on you won't be a ward build. You'll probably be more of just a health build and leech build. But once you pick up the Twisted Chains of somebody or other, I never remember the name, the last name of the Twisted Chains relic, you will go Mind Shell and Ever Ward for the ward retention. And I've also put points into Iron Stance for more armor. Yeah, no problem, Nag. Appreciate the raid for sure, man. After you've done that, the last one is Teleport. We're gonna start by pushing into the mirror images, because these guys will take aggro off of you a lot. Get them all. Unexpected Copy, Uncontrolled Duplication, Decoy Position. 4 of 5 in Resonant Plasma gets you there. Then I've got 5 of 5 in Elemental Affinity to increase my elemental damage when I use it. And then I've got ward stuff. If you aren't ward built yet, you can just skip these and go over to Crystalline Passage and Time Dilation to get a little bit more armor. But once you've got the Twisted Chains, you can use Ether Barrier and Stable Bubble. By the way, if you don't have the Twisted Chains, it's pretty much the same. The build's pretty much the same. You won't need quite as much leech though, but you'll still be like, you'll just go high health leech, which is what you're going to do with, or not Twisted Chains. I keep saying Twisted Chains, I meant Twisted Heart. But Twisted Heart synergizes really well with the way you'll make this, just with health leech, and just converts over some of the health to ward, and then you'll leech it right back. We'll talk about that once you get into the gearing, just how that works. But you don't have to worry about doing too much differently, other than you don't want to worry too much about ward retention until you've got it, because you're not building up much ward. Okay, let's go into passives. On the base class, I've got All in Scholar for the health and mana, both are really good. Elementalist, I've got all the increased elemental damage for lightning. And then Arcanist, I've got 2 in Arcanist for intelligence, fire, and lightning resistance. I've got 1 in reactive ward, which is just to get up to Warden for the ward retention. Again, you don't need this until you've got the Twisted Heart. Once you do, it's really good. Mage Flurry for the attack speed. I love this node. And then I've got 5 of 10 right now, Knowledge of Destruction for the crit strike chance and crit multi. This is a must take in pretty much every mage build, whether it be Spellblade or Sork. 18% LE resist and the 30% LE damage is a really good node for 6 points. The rest of it is going to be in Sork. We got 8 of 8 in Calculated Destruction. Big node for us, 160% spell crit strike chance. We're going to be building for spell crit strike. Brainstorm, increased spell damage and mana regen, both really good. Arcane Momentum for that cast speed. Wisdom, this is especially good with Lightning Blast, but it's also good for Static Orb. Oh, 3, I've got right now 3 of 10 in Wisdom. By the way, my character is level 91, so I've got 11 more points because I haven't done the last 2 chapters that I can put somewhere, so this is one place I might put it. 1 of 8 in, how do you say that? Cyranomancer? I think that's how you say it. Like, I've ever had to try to say that before. It's an okay node, but like the shock is really low, so I think there's better places to put it. But the 5 of 5 in Rift Bolt is really, really good. Lightning Pen and Lightning Damage Leech, and this build wants Leech, so that's great. Then we're going to go with Crackling Precision for the increased crit strike chance. It says 80, it's actually double for lightning skills, and we're pure lightning. So we get 160 there, so 160 there, 160 there, 320 just from the passive. That's pretty insane. Then 50 spell crit multi. And then Distant Spark is just really good too, because anytime you critically strike, you get a Spark Nova, and you're going to critically strike on almost every hit. You're going to critically strike a whole lot on Static Orb because you hit so many times. Because you have all the little ones that go out, you have the big one, and you have the explosion, and you have 2 tendrils. So this turns out to be a pretty big damage increase. Spell Slinger, adaptive spell damage, increased mana regen. Recollection for the cooldown recovery is especially good on both Flame Ward and Teleport. And then Archmage, and then get your 200 mana, so you have 15 adaptive spell damage here. All right, that's all the passives. Let's go to the gear. Cyranomancer, like the pepper. Okay, cool. What's up, Isengard? All right, here's the gearing. Let's see, how should we start this? Let's talk about the Twisted Heart. Again, the Twisted Heart is not required. It's just a big defensive buff if you run it. So it gives you a bunch of health. This is a health build regardless. If you're not running this, there's some changes you can make, but you definitely want the Twisted Heart. or if you definitely want a lot of leech, if you can take the Twisted Heart, and then a lot of health, so that you're getting more of the ward conversion. This also isn't like a super great version of it. Like, I should probably farm this for a 16 instead of a 13, but the increased health's really good on it. You also get a +1 to elemental spells here. The strength gives you more armor, and the cast speed's nice too. But yeah, we're trying to convert over as much. In fact, let me show you real quick exactly how this works, because it doesn't make a lot of sense when I'm just shooting at nothing, but when I'm shooting at the training dummy, you can really see what's happening. Okay, so if I fire on this training dummy, I'm going to start losing health and gaining ward, right? But I'm going to leech it back because I've got so much leech. So I'm going to get, if I'm doing lightning blast with my single target, which is a lot easier to do this on, you can see I can build up more than 2,000 ward pretty quickly while maintaining my health. So I'm now well over 4k EHP, 4,500 now. So it's just a really relatively easy way of building a lot of EHP consistently and then leeching it back very quickly. So that's what Twisted Heart does. To account for Twisted Heart, we've got the leech in the passive. We need a lot of leech. I've also decided to take Prism Wraps and Avarice. This is a lot of uniques devoted to this setup. I have tried it without this many uniques. I don't like it as much because the leech takes too long, especially or particularly with Lightning Blast. With Static Orb, it's fine. With Lightning Blast, it's slow to catch up, and I think it takes away a lot of the benefit of Twisted Heart. So I personally prefer Avarice for the leech rate and the elemental damage, and then also Prism Wraps for the massive leech on crit. You can definitely try to do it with one fewer. If I was, I'd probably try Prism Wraps because that leech rate's really good. Plus, I can put double health here. So I think this is actually, I think I can put something like this here with the health, and that's really nice. Like I get up to like what, 2,300 health with that. I just, in my personal testing, found that this was a smoother setup. You get the extra crit strike on this too, and less elemental damage taken. So it's definitely nice for other reasons. But yeah, that's where I'm going. This triangle here is what I really like. This is very easy to get. Just talk to the old man in the where are we? Not divine ruined era. There's a quest at the council chambers. The old man gives you one, not the gambler. Don't do the gambler, and then you'll get Avarice very quickly early in the game. In fact, use those early in the game for leveling. They're just really good at this. And then this is a pretty common drop early level item. We've also got Stormtide, also a pretty common drop early level item. The shock on lightning hit is just super good, and the shock effect's nice too. It's really good for lightning builds. Outside of that, we're going to be pushing crit, we're going to be pushing health, and even some more shock. So let's look at the weapon first. I've got a really good weapon here. I just happened to craft a really nice one. The shotgun hit's good to start with, tier 7. Got super lucky with that. And I got a 5.54 on one of the two best wands. The other one is the the mana one. The mana wand's also really good. Either one of those will work well for you. Then you want spell crit multi, chill shock. Like those are really good. If you get like slow, that's fine. If you get stun chance, that's fine too. You can also get chill in the passive if you need to. If you don't have it on here, you definitely want chill like on pretty much every build. But this is a good place to get chill as well. And you're definitely going to want to run an unread scroll for the spell crit. If you can get 6%, great. I got 5, close enough. That's going to make it a lot easier to get the crit strike chance close to 100. And I've also added crit strike chance in this. I've got a tier 6 LE damage on this. Any kind of LE lightning damage will work. I got resistances on here. This is a good place to put your resistances because it's just there's only so many choices. It's an easy place to put it. As far as your helmet, you definitely want Static Orb. You want as high as you can get it. So I've got the +3. The Pierce with Fireball has spell damage. It's whatever. I definitely would prefer not to have that. If I could have like Int there or Vitality or some other more synergistic stat, that'd be preferable. But the +3 Static Orb's hard to give up. And I've got Necrotic Resistance on here in health. I'd prefer health personally, but that works okay too. The increased health is really good here. Definitely want, especially if you're running the Prism Wraps, you're not going to get it there. Definitely try to get it on the Mage Helmet. As far as the amulet goes, we're running a bone for the Fizz Necrotic. Mana regen here. Minion damage was obviously not desired. If I could get lightning damage there, crit chance there, lightning penny would even be fine. And I've got LE and health, so resistance and health are good there. You could also put frailty here. That would be good. Do I have? I don't think I have frailty on the build right now. If you get frailty, that's definitely solid. We're doing a lot of mana regen. You'll notice. Got mana regen on the belt. We got mana regen on the ring. We got mana regen on the other ring. I've even got a tier 6 here. Yes, tier 6. Yeah. So lots of mana regen on the rings. Also, crit strike chance is really, really good. You notice I'm not running silver rings. Silver rings are fine, but a crit strike ring here and necrotic resist on here and ward retention here are also excellent. There's a number of good ring choices here that you can make. But the crit one, the necrotic ward retention one, the silver ring, those are all definitely good ones. We are also running health and crit avoidance on this one, and more resistances here. Resistances are kind of hard to get in this build because you're running so many uniques. So, and plus you want the health. Crit avoidance on your ring is really good because it can be the one place you put it if you roll it high enough, and still get your defense up to, or your avoidance up to at least close to 100%, if not 100%, with your blessing. And then let's see, on the belt we've got the health, the hybrid health, the increased health. Gonna be great. Again, you really want to build your health. It's hard to get health on mage, but you really want to build it because that unique is going to give you more ward as you have it, and plus it's just more EHP itself. The cleanse ailments right now is considered by most to be mandatory because you can cleanse poison off on it, so you can definitely put that there. You only need a tier 1, so I would focus the rest of the stats on it on other areas. You can see I've got a 5-1-5-5. I'm really happy with that. Like, the ward gain on potion use is whatever. The cleanse all ailments is what we really wanted there. Okay, on to the idols. You have a few choices on here. Crit strike, health, both really great. Also shock, shock effect, shock chance are really great. Cast speed with lightning aegis. Anything with lightning aegis is really great. I think the this setup here with the is that a 1x2 or 2x whatever it is, 1x3 or 3x1 and a 1x4 4x1. I can't remember which one's which, but with the 4 and the 3 here is really good. Health's really good in here. You can also fill out your resistances with that as well. And here is like any resistances that you need to fill out, go ahead and put them in there. The last thing we got to talk about are blessings. Believe this one is blessing mostly complete, like they're not perfectly rolled, but spell damage, leeches health is definitely yes. Here, you definitely want that. This is the void chicken. Get your spell damage, leeches health off of him. It's going to be huge. I got shock on hit from Lagan. You can also put stun chance there. That'd be really good too. But shock is preferable because it also increases your damage. Crit avoidance here, definitely 100%. This is your Reign of Dragons one. I've got Fizz Res here to actually cap me on Fizz Res. Without it, I wouldn't be capped, so I definitely recommend that if you need it. And I actually got my frailty off of a blessing, so that's why I've got frailty covered. There are other choices you can make here, but these are all really good ones. You can definitely go with this and be perfectly happy with it. Okay, that's everything on the gear side. Sweet, we're pretty much done. I showed the rotation. I'll go through again real quickly. If it's more than one enemy, Static Orb. Also Static Orb once every 4 seconds to keep up your lightning aegis right here. Single target, lightning blast. Just hold it down and kill them. If you need speed, if you need defense, or even for a little more damage, just hit Flame Ward and then continue that rotation. If you run out of mana, just run out of mana here. Go all the way down. Focus. And your mana's back. And then, of course, teleport to do mobility plus to throw out mirror images so that they can take some aggro off you. That's the rotation. Okay, I think that's everything. I think we've covered it all in a reasonable amount of time, actually. Not terribly bad. If you'd like to hang out with us while we make these builds, we do it on Twitch. I stream about 6 days a week, usually playing Last Epoch. We also have a Discord where we talk about Ellie all the time, plus other stuff, other games. It's a pretty active Discord. Would love to have you there as well. All right, I hope you're enjoying your time in Last Epoch. I hope you enjoy this build if you try it out. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all again real soon.